Hello all. Merry holidays, happy calendar change. Today we're gonna, well, you saw the title of the video, I'm sure, so I don't need to tell you exactly what we're doing today. Basically, I decided to go ahead and move the needle on Pioneer in 2024. At least I think it's 2024. Feels like just yesterday it was 2023, but whatever. It still is 2023 when I'm taping this. And this is probably going live when it's still 2023, so yeah, whatever. Anyhow, there I was, surfing the eBay again. And I was looking for Pioneer stuff for a change to get started on. And I thought, what better way to start doing these Fluoroscan units than trying to find a low-end two-head unit to start on, because I was pretty much dead sure I was never going to find a three-header of the kind for anything in my budget for quite some time. However, as you can clearly see, not even, what was it, 3 days later, this thing showed up. So yeah, this is actually my second Pioneer that we're unboxing today. And the idea behind this video is actually fairly simple. One, I don't want to do too much work in the week before Christmas because I'm kind of trying to have a little bit of a vacation here, but at the same time, the CT-F900 that's somewhere inside this box is known for issues that we really have to evaluate immediately, because the Technics deck is just about to get its parts ordered. So, in fact, the gears for it have already been ordered and have already shipped. So, yeah, I need to move on the Technics. And since these things are known for pinch roller issues, if I'm going to order pinch rollers, it has to be now. So, yeah, it's probably going to take a while before we actually get around to working on this on the channel, but we'll do a short video now just unboxing it and seeing what kind of shape it's in and what all I need to get ordered for it. So yeah, packing seems pretty good, and I think I can get her out now actually. Oh, that thing's heavy. And yes, I would have preferred getting the CT-1250 first, but the 1250, on the rare times I can find it, is ridiculously expensive. So, from what I've heard about the 1250, I'm not really willing to pay that much for one. So, yeah, just kind of looking around this unit right now. We've got some abrasion to the case here. A couple of scratches here and there, nothing too serious. Jacks are maybe a little corroded, but nothing too bad. So yeah, we're going to look at this first, and then we're going to take a look at the rest of the collection probably after this, and we'll see what kind of, I'll give you updates on all the other stuff I've got going on, other projects and whatnot. So, yeah. This looks about how I was expecting it to look from the description. Little bit dirty. Could use a little bit of a cleaning, but really not that bad. Potentiometers are moving well. This one here is a split potentiometer. Yeah, it's kind of irritating how Pioneer did that because it's really hard to adjust. Sony's got a better idea there. We've got automatic chrome bias. This is the 900, so it's a little bit too old for metal tapes. The 950 came along to succeed it for that. But Yeah, some grime and stuff on the buttons. That's okay. Power was on for some reason. And I don't know what's going on here. That's not a social insurance number, I hope. It's clearly not a phone number. So yeah. I don't know if I'm going to really want to put out the money to replace this part, but if I have to, I will. And the time I feel like I'm going to have to do it is exactly when I find out exactly what I'm dealing with here. If I think I can bring this back up to full operating condition, then yeah, I will replace that. But you know what? Let me switch out real quick, and I'm going to go to the phone here. Alright, so yeah, it looks like it's in nice enough cosmetic shape for me to do something with. It'll be a nice addition to my collection if I can get it working. And getting it working, that's going to be the hard part, because I've heard things about these Pioneer Fluoroscans, and well, they can be tricky. So let's get in there and check out head condition. The pinch rollers are really what I want to take a look at here, but we'll do head condition first. And I can't really tell much from that. I think I'm going to get out my macro reversing ring and get the maybe the D5100 out, and then we'll get some nice close-up video of those heads, and maybe you guys can tell me exactly how they look, because when I'm using the macro ring, I can't really tell what I'm videoing too well. So yeah, the heads don't look that bad for a visual perspective. I don't feel any grooves in them, so they might be in actually a really good shape, but this deck is over 40 years old, so who knows. Now, pinch rollers, this is what I need to know. They're not real bad. This thing might actually play if it's got decent belts in it. I'm not sure if it does. I think I'm probably going to order just a straight belt kit for this anyway. Oh, that pinch roller is no good. I don't like it. Let me get a dental pick here. It might clean up. I have a feeling though that if I try to play a tape with this, it's going to eat the tape, so if we try this today, it's going to have to be with a tape I can afford to lose. Fortunately, I've got one. Anyhow, let me plug her in and we'll see what comes to life on this unit. Another thing that can sometimes happen with these fluoroscans is the VFD display, the vacuum fluorescent display, tends to go dim over time. And that should come back around if that's the case today, but who knows? Alright, plugged in she is. Power on, and ooh, look at this. Nice, bright display. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. That's great. Man, does this ever look good. Fantastic. I love these things. This is why I wanted the first Pioneers I did to be Fluoroscan, because I just love these displays. In fact, if I can get this working, it's probably going to be in permanent use. Even if it's a 3-head and it's old and I don't plan on recording with it, I would like to have this playing back constantly. So we're going to see if we can make that happen. But does the transport do anything? Well, evidently it does nothing in just sitting around mode with no cassette. So how about we get a cassette? I'm going to use this tape that got chewed up by the JVC. I can afford to lose this one. Oh, I heard a clunk in there. So it must be ready to go. I don't see chrome up there. So I don't know how it detects chrome bias or not, but yeah, let's see if we can get it to play anything. No play for Mr. Gray. Well, we've got a real drive going. Yeah, I'm going to say all the belts are gone. Typical. You'd expect that. But at least it does something. We do have a little bit of tape unspooling there after rewinding, or fast forwarding, I guess. Might have to service the brakes in there. Maybe not. The little indicator lights are working down here. And fair disclosure, these are known for having the real drive motors fail in these, so very likely we're going to have to deal with that as well. Yeah, she don't want to play nothing, which is expected. I'm not seeing anything too obvious with capacitors here. These are very old, so these are all going to get replaced, I think. I'm not going to bother recapping the whole thing like I did the TCK45 last week, because in that case it turned out to be a giant waste of almost time, but I was going to do that anyway, so like I said, my grandparents' tape deck. Anyhow, I'm noticing that we've got belts in there. Very loose belts, but we have belts. So why doesn't it play? Good question. Is the capstan motor shot? Very good question. So, where is the capstan motor on this thing? Here's the real motor right here. I don't know if you can see it. Somehow that got zoomed in all the way. Let me see if I can figure out where the capstan motor hooks up. Looks like it runs all the way down to this connector here, so how about we reseat this connector and see if we can get it to do something. Sometimes these get dirty. Alright, let's try her now. With my junk tape, of course. But yeah, I think the first thing I'm going to do for this unit is get a couple of new pinch rollers for sure. I think it needs them. And I'll grab the belt kit. And hopefully you guys won't be waiting too long to get to the first service video on this thing, but we'll see. No, still doesn't want to run. I know there's more than 2 belts in this thing though, so who knows what's going on with it. Good. 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 And that was expected. But what I need to do, once again, is figure out what's the deal with this capstan motor. I got way too many zip ties in there to deal with. Okay, these ought to be the capstan motor wires right here. Let me see if I can verify that. There's a bit of a terminal block up here I'm having to sort through. Okay, yeah, so we can test the capstan motor power from up there. And I'm getting a negative voltage, so there is something there. So, I saw something go on with the meter. Okay, I'm going to hit it now, and we're going to see what we get for... Interesting. Could be it's registering too quickly for this multimeter, but I don't have an analog meter to test this with, so I don't know for sure. Pretty sure that's the right meter I'm looking at. But yeah, I can see which solenoid is kicking in and out. It's this one up here. Right there. Okay, we get voltage there when fast wind is engaged. Is that not the capstan motor? Oh, it is running. It runs in fast forward and rewind, so something else is going on with this unit. Both motors work. Let me just disconnect this. And I should mention, I already have a plan in place for this, but I've mentioned that we do have to rebuild likely this real drive motor up here. And it's actually kind of difficult because if you have to replace this, it runs at like 8 volts or something during normal playback and 12 volts or something like that in fast forward and rewind. So I'm going to have to take apart another capstan motor in order to fix this or rebuild this if I can't do a motor service on this and bring it back around. But yeah, something's up with this unit. It's a mystery. And I really can't be looking at this too long to solve the mystery because, well, this is just to see what kind of parts it needs first. We will get it playing. Of that, I am sure. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this purchase. Even if it can't, if I can't get it going again, I can use it for parts, and I'm pretty sure I can get this going again. Look at some of the other stuff I've been working on. Yeah, I don't really see too many capacitors here to be worried about, so yeah, I'm happy with this purchase. I don't see any of those orange drop capacitors that love to go bad in the Nakamichi older units, which I'm sure my 480 is full of. But yeah, it would have been nice to hear this thing play, or at least try to get it to play. Alright, so I couldn't resist. I got the faceplate off, and I got the transport board undone here, and look what we've got there. I don't know if you can see it too well. I'll try and show it to you as best I can. Even though the gimbal is not working. Look at that. Bunch of brown crap glue that was holding down that capacitor right there. So I've already cleaned most of it off. I don't know if that'll make any difference or not, but I noticed that there was also a few bad soldering joints here and there as well, so maybe it'll work now, maybe it won't. I decided it was probably best to try and at least try to figure this out before I order parts, in case I've got to order parts for the circuitry in this thing, so maybe it'll work now, maybe it won't. I'm going to set you up here. And we're going to try and reinstall this board and see if it works now. I found that the power to the playback solenoid, which is back in here, I don't know if you can, probably can't see that, but whatever. My gimbal's not working right, so yeah, the power comes through here for that solenoid and goes through this big power resistor here. I tested it, it's fine. And then from the resistor it comes back to this transistor right back in here. So that'll be the next thing to check if if I can't get it to fire that solenoid. And the reason I'm suspecting an electronics problem is because I noticed the playback LED indicator on the control panel also was not working. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm heading with this right now. So I'm going to try to get this plugged back in here. I'm going to have to put 2 screws back in just to hold that in place so it doesn't short out or nothing. Then we'll fire it up and try to get it to engage playback. Because I can't find any bad belts right now. That would explain it not being able to go into playback mode. I will try and diagnose this as best I can, and then if it needs me to order parts, we will. Before I get started with the main service video on this thing. Alright, that should be in place well enough. I've left nothing disconnected. So let's see what happens now. Plug it in, power on. Nope, still nothing. Not a thing. So, what's next? Okay, I don't know if there's any real good way to do this, but we're going to try checking some voltages. At least that's the plan. Nope, didn't magically start working. Okay, I've got some printouts here of the service manual in as small type as possible, so it's really hard for me to see anything. But yeah, I'm going to locate this play position here on the board, if I can. So what I'm looking for, where is it? Is Q517 with a resistor attached to it. I don't know, that doesn't match up with what's on the schematics. Oh wait, that's foil side. Okay. Confuse me, would we? Well, here's a thought. Why don't I just check the pinout from the actual control IC, which is way over here. I'm getting a little more than frustrated with the way Pioneer put this thing together now. Okay, now which pin from that do I need to check? Pin 15. That's that one right there. Nothing on the meter. Man, I hope that thing's not fried. I think we need to check voltages coming in from the power supply now. I think that's what let's do. Well, that's interesting. I can hold the button down and get the capstan motor to spin, and yet this thing won't kick in. Is it just stuck? Is that what's going on here? Ate my tape immediately when I tried to do that. Yeah, the playback indicator is not lighting up when I do that. So there's definitely a control issue with this thing. Alright, so here's where we're at with this thing. I have been over it and over it and over it again, and I can't find the problem just now. I've checked all the capacitors, they're all good. I've checked the big power resistors, they're all good. I've checked the main playback solenoid, which is back in here. It's good. I have tested this diode back here. It's good too. I can't find it. So, yeah, here's what we know. The deck will rewind and fast forward properly, so the control chip is good. I've checked all the voltages. They're all good. And, yeah, I just don't know where to go from here. The tape detection switch, that's also good. It's right up at the top here. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this marinate for a while. I'll come back to it once in a while as time goes by. But here's what I am going to do. I'm going to go ahead and order all the rubber parts this thing needs, with the assumption I'll be able to figure this out, because I'm not going to let this thing beat me. I'm going to figure this out. But, yeah, this is just in case somebody out there would like to help me with maybe a shortcut or something. Because, yeah, here's the tape detection switch here. That's how it activates. So, with me pushing this down, it should play, it should pause, and you'll notice neither indicator is lighting up. So, yeah, obviously record doesn't work because I've got no tape in it, but I tried record as well with my other chewed up tape in it, and that doesn't light up either. So, record, pause, play, none of that works on this unit. And I can't figure out why. So, yeah, I'm just going to let it sit, and I'll come back to it while I'm waiting for the parts to come in, and I'll have to diagnose it off camera because I'm not experienced enough to try and track this down on camera and be able to still concentrate while I'm talking to you guys. So, yeah, I'll figure it out one way or the other. In the meantime, if anybody knows exactly what to look for and would like to give me a suggestion or three, well, that's kind of loose there. I'll have to glue that back down. Anyway, yeah, that's where we're at with this guy. So I'm going to put this to the side for now because it's not the next component, the next tape deck in the pile of units I got to do anyway. So let's go over the rest of the collection, and I'll let you know where they're at. First, the Sony TC-FX5C. I don't know what to do with that guy. It's working too well to use it for parts, and the door's too broken to sell it, so I keep enjoying it the way it is as best I can. So right now I'm using that as my main playback for doing puzzles and stuff. The Excelia, you'll notice, is right there. Yes, it's out of the office. It's been kicked out by the TAC-V900X, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Of course, there's the Technics RSB755 there. That's the one I got to order parts for immediately because I need that to be working as soon as possible now. The Carver, still have yet to get into the modifications for that thing. Hope to do that somewhat soon, but who knows when that's going to happen because it's going to need realignment once I get that done. Yeah, I might need some stuff for doing realignments yet in order to get to that one, but next up, the TAC V770. I don't know. I'll get to it when I can. I should really have gotten to it before the V900X, but what can I say? I wanted to do my childhood tape deck first. This Technics up top here, I'd like to do this one soon. I don't know if I can get to it. Reason I don't know if I can get to it is because I want to do that there Denon first. That, I think, is going to have to be the next one I work on, irrespective of the parts for the Technics 755 or whatever. Anyhow, moving down here, this Sony, I'll have to get to that soon. I should probably get to it real soon, actually, but I don't know. The TCK45 from my grandparents. This one took me almost a full week to service, so I'm not going to get to this one again anytime soon, but it needs full realignment. It's not putting down the record levels it should be. I'll get to that. I do have a possible idler in here for it. The one I'm looking at is probably this 24 by 2.4 millimeter. I think that one's going to work. I don't know. We'll get to it sooner or later, one of these days. BX150, I still use it. I'm still trying to talk myself into selling it because it's the one that's ready to go. But I haven't been able to do it yet. It's just too good of a unit. What can I say? Now over here, we've got this Pioneer SK650 boombox. I should get into that soon because it's been waiting for me for years. I've had it for a long time. Nakamichi 480, yeah, nowhere near 1,000 subscribers yet, so you're going to have to wait on that one. I'm hoping to get to it at least somewhat soon because the next time I need to order something from DigiKey, I'm going to have to get a bunch of capacitors for this thing, I'm sure. The Bose AW1. I need to get to this real soon. I'm hoping to try to do this in January. We'll see how that works out. Down here, the Sony ES receiver. It's been kicked out of the bedroom because it doesn't have a sleep timer. That's pretty much the only problem. But yeah, the Yamaha's got this thing beat in the features department, so the Yamaha's in there now. We'll see it in a second or two. Down here, we've got that Albatross, that Sony receiver that I couldn't fix and probably will never fix. Next to it is that JVC auto reverse. I've decided to just use that for parts. I don't like it enough to keep it working. And yeah, I don't know. It works, it's just not the best unit. Because I'm really not that into auto reverse to begin with. Next up, there's that Nikon. I really don't like that machine. I'm trying to convince myself to get back into that and figure out why the wow and flutter is so ridiculous, but can't talk myself into that yet. The Optonica. Head's too bad on this thing to do anything with it. I'm not sure I even want to use it for parts. What I would like to do is try to either relap that head or replace that head and then bring this one back around, because anytime I see these things come up for sale, it's always too much money. And I had an offer for someone to send me one, but knowing what I paid for this one to get it shipped here from just Calgary, it's got to be real close for me to even bother with that kind of thing. Next up, the TCK61. That is now a parts machine. I got so fed up with that clutch in there, that magnetic clutch, it failed again by the way, that I decided to just tear into it and break the clutch on purpose, just to see how it is. So, yeah, that's non-functional now. However, because I broke it, I now know exactly how to deal with that clutch in future units, which is good because I have a TCK65 coming. And this one's going to be parts for probably that one and probably also for the TCK55 over there. So yeah, sometimes you got to break stuff to figure out how they work. At least that's the story I'm sticking to anytime my parents bring up that vacuum cleaner incident from when I was a kid. We won't talk about that. What we will do is go head to the office and I'll show you what's in there. Okay, we're in the office. And as you can see, I've got my subwoofer there. That's the old Lanzar Optodrive 1232, I think. Dual 2 ohm or something like that. And I've got that kicker amp from that one video powering it, along with the power verter. It's working really well that way, I gotta say. Even though that subwoofer's only getting like 300 watts right now. There's no way I'm going to wire it for 1 ohm and overload that power verter. It's not going to happen. It does well enough as is. Over here, yep, there's the TAC V900X. And I gotta tell you right now, that's the #1 tape deck in the collection now. The Excelia is now #2. Now, fair warning, or fair disclosure, the Excelia is slightly better with audio. However, the Excelia is also worn out. That is not worn out. That is a low hours machine. And the audio recording quality out of that thing is good on every single tape I try with it. I threw 8 decibels into a chrome cassette, and it took it, and the tape took it, and it sounds amazing. So, yeah, I haven't even tried the DBX on that thing yet, or any of the noise reduction. I've just been recording without noise reduction, and yeah, that's my main recorder right now, because I'm just trying to get it to tell me if there's anything else wrong with it. But so far, it hasn't really given me any problems. Over here, if the gimbal will cooperate, is the Steinberg UR22. You'll remember I bought that for 15 bucks at a Value Village. And it's working fine, except for one thing. It's got these weird combination Nutric XLR phone plug dealies. And the phone plug part of that is broken on this channel now. I was trying to use it to capture the audio out of the JVC auto reverse unit, and it broke. The connector, or the pin on the connector broke off inside, and there's no way to fix it. So either this connector is going to have to be fixed, or I'm going to have to get something else. And these connectors are about $5 from Newark Electronics, so I might fix it, I might not. However, the problem is I can no longer use this box to capture any audio from anything that does not have a variable audio output. So I used it for the TIAC V900X because it does have variable output, but the TCK45, I couldn't use that with it. I had to use my Zoom H1N for that. So yeah, I've gotten a lot of mileage out of that for 15 bucks, but maybe it's time I spent the money and got something a little better, because the pro audio guy in me does not like that very much when it comes to features. Anyhow, that's about all we can talk about in here. Let's go over to the bedroom system. Alright, this is the bedroom system. As you can see, I've got the Sherwood turntable up top here. Not sure how much longer I'll be using that, because I've actually got a quartz lock direct drive turntable coming in that's going to be on the channel real soon. Quite possibly it's the next video, but we'll see how that goes. Below that, that's the Yamaha receiver with the internal error. That error has not come back yet. But what has come back was the remote. Now this isn't the one that's supposed to go with this unit. Rather, this is the one for the US version of this receiver. It's got one button different, and that's the Sirius. Yes, the US version got Sirius XM, the Canadian version did not. And neither one of them got a phono preamp like the European versions did. But whatever, it is what it is. I've got a preamp coming for this thing now. Should be here any day now. Anyway, I'm loving that receiver so far. It's really, really playing well with the DCMs. The DCMs didn't need a lot of equalization, but yeah, that receiver really brought them out. Or brought out the good audio quality out of them. Anyhow, below that, we've got the Sansui D905R. Probably going to be cycling that out at some point. This is where I'd like that big Pioneer CT-F900 to go, if I can ever get the dang thing working, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's it for the bedroom system. There's really not much to it. I've got a Bluetooth receiver way down there that I use quite frequently. And yeah, it's just nice to be able to play some vaporwave and go off to sleep and use the sleep timer on that receiver. And there's a smart power strip back there. And anytime the receiver is switched off, the power strip switches off. So yeah, I can just set my sleep timer, listen to some vaporwave, go off to sleep, and it'll shut down everything. Love it. So anyhow, that's the status of the collection at this point in time. Let's see, do I have anything else cool coming in? I told you about the TCK65. That one's going to be real interesting because it's really, really banged up. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes. I don't think it's even shipped yet, but it doesn't matter. I've got enough stuff to keep busy with here. Yeah, I forgot to mention that JVC BRS 605U. I don't know exactly why I bought that thing in the first place, but I'll get to it eventually. Anyhow, the other one that's coming in is the Pioneer CT-F615. I don't know, maybe that one will be first before I get to finishing this one. Who knows? I do know that one is at least expected any day now, so yeah, it should show up by the time Christmas gets here. We'll see. Or rather, I'll see. I might show you on camera what it looks like when it gets here, because I've got a spot in the shelving units up here for the Pioneer stuff. The CT-900 is, or CT-F900 is going to go where the O-ring kit is, and maybe the 615 on top of it. I don't know, haven't figured that out yet. Anyhow, I guess that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, if you guys have any idea why this thing will not go into play, just drop your comments below and I'll check up on them. But for now, I'm going to put this together, put it up on the shelf, and just let it sit for a while and get all the parts ordered it needs. Or rather, get all the rubber parts it needs, because these pinch rollers, yeah, I'm not keeping these. These have to go. Idler's not too bad, but might as well change it all. Well, folks, I haven't quite figured this out yet, but I'm getting real close now. After spending the last couple of days going through this, looking for the problem, I finally discovered the problem is not anywhere on the control board or in the power supply. It's in the memory circuit. See, I got it playing now, but watch what happens when I shut it off and try to play again. Nothing. 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 Yeah, you can do that all day and it will not start playing. However, if you put the counter repeat button on and you rewind it until the counter goes back to 0, watch what happens. Well, the idler quits, apparently. Yeah, we lost our idler belt, but you heard it playing. As soon as I get the belts for this, it'll be good, I think. And we'll have to dig into this in a future video just to see what the heck is going on with the memory circuits. But yeah, we got her playing. We listened to it for the first time ever, so there's hope for it.